Welcome to my channel. Right now you are in the right place. When the Paper Pro first came out, I really debated because I wanted the color as a designer and I wanted the light. But when it came down to it, the size did not work right for me. And so when the Pro Move came, I was like, I think this is it, but I'm not sure. Let me read the reviews. Let me see, does it work? Will it work for my notes? And so I'll share with you what I think of all that. And on today's video, I'm going to share with you the comparison with the Move with the reMarkable 2, because I've seen lots of comparisons with the Paper Pro because scalability in terms of aspect ratio, this is the smaller size of the Pro. But from the reMarkable, even the aspect ratio is different. And so I was wondering, will the margins be right? Will the font scale right? How does it compare? So I'll tell you as we go along. I joined the reMarkable family when I got my reMarkable 2, and I shared everything about that reMarkable in the video linked above, and I've also linked it in the description box below. There's a playlist about that because there were some things that I tweaked that worked for me as a creative, because sometimes that's the field you're in. I also shared with you in that playlist the reasons I picked reMarkable. And for me, I used it for designing, organizing, tracking my everyday as I create my resin products. And that's what I normally share with you. My name is Juliet, and also in my travel and other hacks that I do. And sometimes I want something portable, this size, that I can take along with me. My reMarkable Paper Pro Move and the reMarkable 2, this is how they compare in size. You can also see the brightness of the canvas, but I guess it's because of the material used, because this one they use a plastic film that is a little smooth, and this one is like an etched glass. And I imagine because of the light, they don't want it to be too bright, so that when you use the light, then it comes more, and I'll show you more about it. Apart from the size, the color and the lighting is the other main difference between these two. Everything else, the ins and outs, are similar to the reMarkable 2. So to see more of that and the house and the folders and the navigations, please check the playlist I've linked above on everything reMarkable 2. It will be similar to the Move. And one of the things I wanted to show is that I've always used notebooks that are the size of the Pro Move. See? So it's similar in size. So even the canvas space I had to design, to write, was similar. And so I'm used to using small fonts to write, you know, my creations, my thoughts, my organizing. And so that will not change much for me when using this with smaller font, because I don't mind. I'm used to this notebook. So remember what I told you, it's about user case. So for me, even though the space is smaller, it can work for me. My Connect subscription is more for storage, cloud storage. But now I'm glad I have it because of the handwriting search feature that has been so good for me, because I have so many notes I've archived, and sometimes I don't know where to find them. So this is very good, and it's worth it. $2.9. It sounds a lot, but for what it's doing for me, it's worth it. For me, the Connect subscription has been worth it, especially for my storage. But as you can see, it gives you other features like Connect for Business, keeping your flow going, the never losing your notes because of storage. For me, the other big thing is the search handwritten text right now that is only available for Connect subscribers, and it's amazing for my archived notes. And then using proven methods, I've not used them templates yet. Maybe I might use it for my 2026 planner, and I'll also explore and see what is there. For those who use Slack, you can connect, and also it comes with protection for 3 years. I just wish with the subscription, every time you get a new device, they add that 2 months free subscription to your next, into your already subscribed, so it pushes up your payments a little later. I only wish they could that. reMarkable, please be kind to your loyal clients. Remember also, we have search now. Handwriting search is here for beta and connect subscription members. And so I can come in here. Let's assume I want to search something. Let's see, what do I search? Templates. I can go, for example, into my script, and I'll find templates if that's what I wanted. So this helps me, especially because I have a lot of things archived. For example, let's see, if I want to again to search archive. So within this paper, I can, notebook itself, I can also search. But I can also search within the same, but I can also go to the top and just search overall in the whole of my reMarkable and say archive. And I'll have all these 6 matches. And you see there are some things I had archived, let's say some reels, some YouTube things, my products. And sometimes I want to something I was looking for before that I can't find nowadays. Now it's good. I can go, for example, in my YouTube previous videos, look at my archives. When you create a notebook, you have all these default templates, and for some of you, the ones you input, but also what is in methods, because I have Connect subscription. And this is such as the templates, the planner. Once it syncs, I'll have the options. We have I'll use the planner, and we have different templates. And the good thing also with reMarkable, you can have it on your different devices, like now on the Move, on the reMarkable 2, on my phone, and have access also on my laptop. If, for example, I pick the daily planner and create, and I have this type of lines, I can go and change the layer and change the type of template. For example, if I want one to be grid, I can make grid, so I can change it. That's grid. If I change my mind and I want it to, for example, I want the next one, or to change its template to be, let's say, for whatever reason, hexagons, I can do that. In one notebook, you can have different templates as needed, especially if you're drawing or sketching. So you can have maybe your notes, then you can have a planner, so you can mix it up within one notebook. In the beta program, they've just dropped this new update that now you can import Word files as notebooks. Let's see how that works. You can import through here, and you come to your files. These are my files page, and then you can import what you need, or you can come to this other place where you upload files to your reMarkable, and this is on my reMarkable page. If you have Connect, that's when you have access to this. So in your reMarkable page, you can then also drag and drop. So now it's going to refresh, and there it is. My document has been uploaded. Let's see how it looks. So now it's going to refresh, and there it is. My document has been uploaded. Let's see how it looks. Now in my updated Word document, I can come, let's say, change color and say, let's see, put a note here, change this. Let's say that's a link I want to change. Or I can come here and type. I can just continue adding, maybe let's say reMarkable. I can continue editing my Word document on my reMarkable, and for me who uses Word quite often, this is reMarkable. So I'm so glad for this update and to be part of the beta team. Of course, the other thing they have also introduced is when you create folders now, you can add your tags at the same time as you're naming it. You can now pick the tags you need. You can add another one. And before, you had to go now out again and do this, and I've explained how we did that before in the reMarkable 2 playlist. So it gets easier as the updates are dropped. I'm so happy for the lights. If you can't come here, you can take your brightness up or down as you need, and you can also do it in the settings. You come to this light, and now you can also do that. And then you can also add extra brightness if you're in a place that needs to do that. So that's a plus. I won't need that. And like now, I don't need the lighting. Can even go into settings, brightness, and make it less bright. Same way, but you can also add extra brightness. So you can see there's a big difference. You can see the other one just next to it, and you don't have any light. So this is going to be a plus for me as I create or think of something in the middle of the night or in an area that has no lighting. You can also check the marker percentage of battery, by checking in here in general settings. You see the marker percent, and because it will always be connected, it charges as long as it's connected. I hope it doesn't. It's 100%, so I'm assuming it won't take away more of the battery. When I started this video, it was at 100% when I started creating, but you can see it's already at 78. I don't know with use how that will go in time. I can let you know, but for now, that's how it is. Like the Paper Pro, the screen, the color is one of my highlights. Of course, it will help in visualizing colors even in PDFs, even though I don't use PDFs and as much and reviewing any documents that I might have. The visuals on the PDFs for me just makes this interesting, especially because it's hard to add customized screens and all. No, on the reMarkable, you have to jump through hoops to get that done. And reMarkable, please allow us to put in our screens, templates, at least screens, even though we are not doing anything. Please allow us to do that without having to jump through the hoops. But the fact that I have this interface that looks nice with color, for me, I like it. So let's see. When you go into PDFs, they are still flickering, better for reading. For me, I don't think I will read on this, because I want, when I turn a page, to be able to go straight to reading without the flicker. But if I'm just using my PDF to, for example, do notes, it won't do that much, because once I'm in a page, let's say, for example, once I'm in a page, for example, let's go into that Jane Mokami's page, PDF. By the time I'm moving, I want to read and write. It doesn't take me too much. So even though it flickers, I still get to do what I need to do. And I don't use PDF often. So for me, it's not a big deal.
Because these are ink paper tablets, the color is not as brilliant as on the laptop or on the phone.
I don't read PDFs much on my reMarkable. So for me, it doesn't matter too much, that flickering, but I like that I can visualize in color, like now compared to the black and white. When you're reading your PDFs, you can also come in here and adjust your view. So you can adjust your view to fit the width, like in this case, to fit the height, or custom view. And this is very good if you're doing annotated notes on the side. Because with Connect subscription, I have access to the handwriting search, and that's so helpful. Now we don't have to tag every folder, every file. This works very well for me. I have my personal, and then I have my work. And as you can see, I don't have many PDFs, so I don't use PDFs, and I will not use this as an e-reader. On writing with my Staedtler, this just glides. And that's why one of the reasons I was looking for an alternative to the marker pen, because this really just glides. And I'm that kind of person who prefers the glide, the ball pens and the fountain pens. This you can hear that it does glide, but it has a resistance, and I'm okay because it has that paper feel, that paper noise, but sometimes for me, I prefer a little less. We are talking about color now and the different writing styles. So you have different pens. The only problem for me with the reMarkable is that for the move, they have only given us one pen option. When they introduce the 2 pen options, it's really good, especially for someone who's designing or someone who's always writing a lot. Instead of always having to go in here and pick another pen to write and then go back. And now, remember, now you're also picking color. So let's start and see how the colors translate. Maybe I'll do one color for each pen, how each translates. So let's do this, let's say in gray. I know it wouldn't be as visible for you. Okay, so that's the gray. All right, the fine line, which I'm always, okay, this is the other thing I don't like. Anytime you come from there and you tap here, it still writes, and I don't like that. So let's do, so you have the fine line, and of course you have different, you have the small, the medium, the thickness of the pen, and that also changes. For example, that's the highlighter. Let's say let's pick yellow. Okay, so you have the highlighter in yellow. Okay, let's pick, that's the pencil. You see now, because I can't, it becomes hard. That's the pencil, and the pencil is in black, so let's have it in blue. So colors are having this flicker, and for me, I don't mind, because I'm not in a rush. What I want is the end. See, I'm so used to erasing, so I was just about to do that, and I'll get used to it. All right, so okay, we can go on and on and on. There's something I wanted to show about the marker. When I thought there was something wrong when I was trying to paint. Let me do a color that you can see. Let's even use black, or let's use blue. I was finding it like, what's going on with my paintbrush? But I realized that you need to press down. It depends on the pressure, and also, of course, if you tilt it, the tilt gives you a wider, the tilt and pressure also gives you a wider pen. So I'm excited to try this. After pairing, the main thing I was worried about is how the scaling of my documents, of my files, from the reMarkable 2 to the Move. So let me show you. So if you go, for example, to my, let's say, to my actions, and you look at this that I wrote in the reMarkable 2 has translated. So what the difference is that the fonts have become smaller, the margins are still there, but even the lines are smaller. And so for all documents that I created before, when they translate to this, they are smaller, but for me, they are okay. They're still legible. Let me show you any other document that I create in the Move. It actually gives me the wider line. So from now on, and when I come here, it's the same lines that I have, but because they've been created on the other side, they are smaller. So anything I create on the Move from here on, let's see. If I write, just checking this, just checking. After syncing, you see there's still a lot of space left in this, so it moves the smaller version of the Move. And for me, for these reasons, it will be very hard to keep both, because I'm going to have an issue with that scalability from this to the next. If this, as I use it, we still have the 100-day period to still think and decide. But so far, I love it because of the color and the lighting. But if I had to, I would not keep both. For that reason, I will resell this. And the good thing, reMarkable has good packaging. This is still in good condition, and I'll share with you about that. And most likely, I'll just keep this. While using the reMarkable Move, I've noticed, remember what I was telling you about scale, where what I already had in reMarkable 2, how it scales down. So this is the size. I've discovered that down here there is a zoom, sort of how zoomed it is, you know. And so I think if you change that, see, like now that becomes 1. That's how it looks now on the reMarkable 2. So you can then be able to zoom in if your font is too small,
and it just has different, see, like now that's 0.8, so you can zoom in and out. But that's why I was telling you, now for me, now I don't want to have to do this all the time. See, now that's at 0.4. I don't have to keep doing this. That's why I will most likely not keep both. So I'll just use one and then I'll just work with that scale going forward. But that was an interesting discovery.
Something to remember when you're typing, you can type as usual, using text. If you don't want to write, you can type. Just like in the reMarkable 2. The other thing is, let me show you. You can also convert text. You can also convert to text. And I've picked the option of anything converted to text goes to a new page, so that in case you change your mind or you still want to continue, you still have your handwritten notes, right? So in this case, my handwritten notes are still here. The converted text and even just the handwritten text, you can share it. And in sharing it, you can now present it with a screen share, like in a meeting. You can send by email, and you can create a link to your document for both handwritten and the converted text or the typed out. And you can also import your PDFs using, let me show you. You have your integration from your drive or from the cloud when you have your Connect membership. You have also, you can download into your reMarkable app and import your PDFs in and out. Also, this would be very good for documents sometimes that you want to actually sign yourself. You can import the PDF, sign it, and then share it out as an email. The other things I learned a little later were things like doing shapes. If you do your circle and hold, it becomes a shape. If you do it as an oval and hold, okay, you have to be careful that you do that continuously for it to hold, and press down, then it holds. And it's the same with triangles. But because I came back, you see, because I came back, it took away the triangle. But if I just become precise like that, it becomes. What if you're trying to make your shapes and they're not doing what I showed you mine doing? Just come up here and enable shapes. Right, so now if you come, then do it, draw, it now becomes a circle, triangle, and your shape. And it's the same for the lines. If you don't have it enabled, the lines won't form, but now they form. You can move it here. And the other thing, if you are not aware, is with the selection, you can actually select. You can make them bigger or smaller. You can move where you want it to go as an individual or as this whole. If, for example, I want to duplicate this, I can copy and paste it there, press it again and paste it there, yeah, and then you can always have this in there, but you can clear and pick another one copy, place it there. So you can, that's one of the things. Or the other thing you can do is you can also rotate. You can also rotate and move this, for example, if you wanted it there. So that's one of the other things I noted. I prefer, let me show you a page, let's see, with some of my, okay, let's see, I was doing maths with my daughter here. Let's see, let me show you something. If you want to select everything that's below this line, you can, oh sorry, let's undo that. You use the selection and press and hold. It tells you select everything below. You select it and you can move it up and down. But in my case, I want to show you something. Copy. I want to paste it here. And I want to move this up. I want to paste it again here. All right. So this is one of the things reMarkable has that I like. The fact that you can actually have a longer page. Yeah, you can continue writing all the way down. But the reason I don't use this feature for myself is because when I come to this page, I will never know which page has an extension down and which one is going up. You know, I won't know whether I should continue down. So for me, I still prefer, instead of going down, I still prefer doing the side swap like that, where I'd rather add a page and just place what I needed here. I don't know why it's big like this. I'd rather just move it here instead of have it on going up and down, but that's an option for someone who prefers it like that. Whatever page you're in, if you do this with 2 fingers, it takes you to the last action where you are in that page. And so, for example, if I want to come here and go to my other one, I can do that and go back to this one. But if I want to go to the main page, I can just do once with 1 finger. Once like that and go to the main page. The canvas space, I was wondering if it's going to be enough on portrait. On landscape, I don't think that is the option for me because I like writing longer and more than wider, you know, on landscape. Something else, whatever page you have, portrait, you can have it turn landscape. You can use this as a landscape, but for me, I would rather not have the stretch. I'd rather have the length, because maybe I do lots of notes. So I don't want to have to do it this way and then keep turning pages, because remember I told you I don't want to do the scrolling up and down. Something I wanted to show you. Let's add a page. Okay, I've added the page. If I write the same thing when I'm in the landscape mode, when I turn it and it's landscape and I write the same thing, just checking this. Let me put an X so that you see. When I make it portrait, it makes the font and the rows smaller. And so I'm the kind of a person who will not want to move in between, because there's a difference between how it writes when it's on landscape and how it writes and translates when it's on portrait. And so for me, what I will do, I have noted that when you go to settings, you can come to, okay, was that enough? To the light there, black, white light, and you can lock so that it doesn't rotate. So for me, I'll lock the orientation to portrait so that it doesn't have to keep going to landscape, because then it doesn't work for me. And also to please return back a choice of 2 pens when you're picking. That was really helpful for me as I write, as I design, instead of always going back and forth. And that's it. I really look forward to this. I look forward to having it, to using it. I hope you enjoyed this and you found it helpful, especially comparing the reMarkable 2. And if you liked it, please subscribe and press the notification so that you don't miss out on future videos. And also follow me on Instagram at Juliet Megwe Inspires, and also TikTok to see my daily travel and resin products in my small business. God bless you. Barakatele. See you on my next video.